Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Oh, well, hey everyone, it's Nate. Welcome to episode 525 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. And dear people, happy week of Record Store Day, Black Friday. This Friday, November 28th. It's a big week. Of course, there's Thanksgiving in there, but I mean, what the hell? Just a holiday. You shovel in a bunch of food with your relatives, get to bed early so you can wake up and get in line at your local independent record store. Lots of cool stuff going out. A lot of new and used. I've been seeing a lot of record shops pulling out the big guns for this Friday, November 28th. So make sure you spend some time at your local independent record store. Give them some love, and hopefully you'll get to take home some loot you've been looking for. Today, I'm having a conversation with one of those independent record store owners, Jen Keenan. And Jen's got quite an interesting background and a long line of very fascinating hobbies we'll get into. First off, Jen owns the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe in Cottonwood, Arizona. Of course, she's a vinyl collector as well. But aside from running the cafe, Jen also roasts coffee. She's on the board of the Women in Vinyl organization. She drives race cars, is into falconry, and even has time to make a home with her husband, Maynard. So, yeah, there's a little bit of Pucifer and Tool vinyl talk today as well. Oh, and Jen is also a cancer survivor. So, wow, a very impressive person. And I was very happy to have some time to talk to her about her hobbies, her vinyl nerdery, and her passion, and many areas of interest. I even learned a bit about falconry, which I didn't have in my plans this morning. But again, Jen's a fascinating person. Please enjoy this episode. And if you're anywhere near Cottonwood, Jerome, or nearby Arizona, stop by the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe, grab some records, have some breakfast, check out the neighborhood. Sounds like a pretty cool trip. All right, dear peoples, I'm going to quit yabbering here and get straight into our interview with Jen Keenan on Record Store Day at the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here on the show, we are welcoming Jen Keenan, who, oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin with your resume. Owner of Queen Bee Vinyl in Cottonwood, Arizona. Welcome to the show. You're a bit of a vinyl nerd as well. That's fun.
Yeah. Very much so. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, we're absolute joy to have you. And, this week for the Record Store Day episodes, we like to feature independent record stores. And very keen to understand kind of how you guys approach Record Store Day, your philosophy on it, and maybe what people visiting your shop this week could expect.
So we really try to, I know we do carry a lot of the things that people are interested in, but we won't normally carry like the biggest ones. Mm-hmm. Want to do where our philosophy is like obscure, abstract, the smaller indie bands and things like that. So that's the kind of titles that we look for. It's like Christmas for us. So we're always very excited, all the employees. And we're going to, this one, we're doing a little bit different. We open at 9 a.m. We normally try to let people skip the line and they can sign up and then enjoy coffee and breakfast instead of standing in line. Especially this weekend, it's going to be raining here, so we won't have to be in the rain. And so we're going to have DJs all day, and then a local band this time. Sometimes we get some touring bands, bigger names, but this time it's a local band, and some free chair massage in case you've been out shopping hard.
At 9 a.m. So people can line up, let's just say some maniac like myself would show up at like 6 a.m. They get a bit of a number or something, and then they're able to go into the cafe and relax a bit and then reassemble when it's time to open?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. And so this year I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of chatter about Record Store Day titles and things like that. A lot of opinions on that. You guys don't carry those, I guess, Record Store Day titles necessarily. It's a bit of a different inventory you guys have. Is that right?
Well, we do carry Record Store Day titles. I just mean like we wouldn't necessarily bring in like the U2 title, or we do bring in the Doors because everyone loves the Doors, but some of the other like the larger pop stars, we don't usually bring in their RSD titles.
Now, it's been a while since I've inquired on the process. Are record stores able to really pick and choose pretty clearly on which titles they want, which ones they don't? It used to be a bit of a surprise what shops would get.
You can still pick your titles. You just don't know if you're going to actually get them or how many. So, I'll take requests from employees and customers, like what they think they would like to see. And then we'll choose from there and then see what we actually get. So it's still a little bit of a surprise, but they have let us now show what titles we've got. It used to be like you couldn't even say what you've got. People just had to show up. So.
All right. So the boxes have arrived. They're all locked up in the back.
Yes.
Now, I haven't had the pleasure of being at Queen Bee Vinyl and Cafe. Now, what if one were to walk into it? How big, like how much of the shop is vinyl and how much is other non-vinyl stuff?
So we have two buildings, and they're connected with a really beautiful courtyard patio. And so one side is cafe, barbershop, ramen house, coffee roaster, so we roast in-house. And the other side is probably 1,500 square feet or so, is mostly records. I'd say 75% records. We do have a stage for live events, but when we don't have events happening, it's covered in records, crates of records. And then we have our direct-to-garment printing press right there as well. So, yeah, I'd say 70 to 80% is still music.
Okay. And Cottonwood, Arizona, not a big town as I understand. So I guess it's pretty standard to have a shop that sells multiple things, kind of a little bit of everything, yeah?
Yeah, we take it to a little bit of an extreme. Maynard and I that's how we work. So, but it's kind of, Cottonwood's like maybe 12 to 15,000 population. And it's kind of a crossroads. When you come up from Phoenix, if you're going to, you can bypass it to go to Flag, but it's a popular place to stop through for Jerome or Sedona, which are the really big tourist areas around here. And then also it's on your way to the Grand Canyon.
Now,
So,
I didn't really know much about that part of Arizona for many years. And then once, I guess Maynard got the winery, and it started becoming a little bit of a destination location. Yes. How has it grown in the last, I want to say 20 years since you guys have been kind of seeding that environment?
oh gosh. So now, there's easily 100 wineries in the state. And I'm not really sure how many were here when I first started coming here, was about 20 years ago, but I would say theirs was maybe a handful, and most of them were in the southern part of the state. But now we have, Cottonwood has a full row, Old Town, which is all tasting rooms. Jerome is pretty much all tasting rooms, and they're like actual destinations instead of just passing through now to get to somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Is it fair to say that you guys have really kind of amplified that area, kind of helped it grow in the consciousness of people who are into wine and art?
I'd like to say that we helped. Yeah, definitely. Especially, I feel like Maynard's name has helped there was already good winemaking here, already great artists, but just now people are actually like paying attention because of his name. So yeah, I think it's definitely helped. And then we ended up becoming an actual AVA for the winery industry. So that's also put us really on the map.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. His opinion seems to be one that a lot of people follow, including myself. I was never into the band Failure until he started talking about them and discovered them and said, oh my God, this is great. So, so now you guys have a record store. How is a record store in Cottonwood different than, say, a record store in like a major city? How is your approach? How does it have to be different?
I think it has to be different because you really have to get people to come there. We don't just have foot traffic just walking by all the time. We're actually a block off the main strip. And so even just a difference of a block in traffic. If you don't know about us, then you just don't know. And so we've really had to advertise quite a bit more and bring stuff that people, yeah, are. We're in a rural area. You can't get like some of the obscure stuff that we like to carry. And so, and then being so close to a college, and I think that just something different than you can get at like the big box stores.
How is it with used records? Like, what percentage of the shop is used? What percentage is new?
I would say the used has been growing quite a bit. So I would say we're probably about 30% right now. And again, I think because I'm a little bit more, I like everything a little bit more curated. So a lot of the used stuff that comes in is like the same stuff. And so I tend to pick and choose a little bit more on the used. But I do know that we have people that are always looking for, some of the used titles and they want the original pressing. So we do carry some, but you can only have so much as you own.
Yeah. I only know one Chuck Mangione song. Yeah, no offense to Chuck. He's done well for himself. So you don't get a lot of used collections in Cottonwood, I would imagine. How far afield do you have to go to find those unique records?
I have driven down to Tucson before to get a really good like 80s metal collection. And then I have people all the time, asking if we buy, but then it's like, yeah, bring them in. And then they don't usually bring them in. So I've driven Tucson, which is 5 hours, Flagstaff. I met a guy recently from Indiana, and he said he had like 17,000 records. And I was like, please, I will make a road trip because I don't know if you know, I also do like road rallies and stuff. So I love to drive. I'm like, seriously, I will drive to Indiana to get all those records.
Wow.
But he hasn't called me yet. So if he's listening, please call me.
Yeah, you're going to need a couple U-Hauls for that one.
Yeah.
So if we were to walk in, some of the sort of unique titles that you would have, what is it you look for? What is it, something that as a record collector you would really want to have in your store?
I really love Belgian metal and European imports, and then some abstract stuff like Nurse with a Wound is a big one for me. And well, any black metal, we actually bring in a lot of black metal because there's a ton of, and as far as the live shows, those fans show up the most. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Indie, also we have a really nice Arizona local band section that we're still filling out, but yeah, just anything that's different that's going to be harder to find.
When did your love of records start?
I think probably when I was 7, honestly. I don't know that I knew it was going to get to this extreme at
None
that
of us
point.
do.
But I do remember, I had a record player and that, well, I guess probably before that, but at 7 is when I remember like picking my first record. And yeah, I feel like it was an escape. I grew up in the Midwest, and so it was kind of an area that didn't have much, and it was my escape was music and live shows.
Okay. What was that first record?
I'm sure I had something before this, but the one that really stands out, it was Iko Iko. It was a little 7-inch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Not Chuck Mangione.
No. My brother got me really into music, though. I have an older brother, and so he and his friends would go to thrift stores and like just pick something based on either the name or the album art. And it can't be something that you know. And so he started getting me into things like Guadalcanal Diary and Bob Mould and They Might Be Giants, stuff like that. So he has a lot to do with this.
Okay, so music's always played a big part in your life, yeah? When did it become pretty apparent that records were going to play a large part of your life?
I would say in my 20s, early 20s. Yeah, I started a pretty good collection. I did end up losing it and restarting in the later 30s, but Yeah, it was definitely, I knew it was going to be a problem.
Yeah. Friends no longer wanted to help you move. Was
Yeah.
So running a record shop, how difficult or what is that decision process like when you see a rare record come in or something that lifts the eyebrow, whether it goes in the store or whether it goes in your collection?
Oh, yeah, that's always the first thing, right? It's like, I'm like, how many should I just keep? And then I mean, it is here to bring people here, so I should let them go. But I, I will debate on it for a couple days before I put them in the store.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, between me and the other employees also.
Oh, okay. It starts with you and then it
Yeah.
goes to the other. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, of course. Queen bee. Um, so is it kind of fluid between the store stock and your collection? Like sometimes taking stuff out of your collection, putting it in the store. Oh, I'm done with this. I'm ready to give this up. That sort of thing.
I haven't done that yet. I've contemplated it a few times, um, but I haven't done that yet. Usually, once I take it, it's mine.
Okay.
It's for my child's inheritance.
Fair enough. And how like can you describe your personal record collection?
My personal collection is all over the place. I love the band Amun Ra, so I have at least every one of their titles and probably almost every variant of each title. But then I love like big band and Ozark string. So they did a collection of Ozark strings, and I've been trying to get all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And Cajun music and industrial, like it's all over the place. Because I
Wow.
grew up with country. My dad was a big country music fan, and I probably was about fifth grade before I realized there was something other than country music. So then I went off the deep end, and it's like Duran Duran, Guns N' Roses, like yeah, I went everywhere.
Wow. Is there a record in your collection? And that I don't mean valuable money wise, but I mean that is most endearing to you, something that is more special above the others.
Yes, there is. Well, there's probably three that
Hmm.
I can't choose one favorite. There's one called Hawaii by Miracle Musical. I think I always say it backwards. Um, that one is probably the most beautiful album I've ever heard in my life. And it tells a full story and it goes everywhere from like this kind of jazz all the way to some electronic and I don't want to say metal, but definitely like harder towards the end. But it really is just like the most beautiful album I've ever heard. And some of those, they only sold those D2C. And so I just bought them at full price and put them in the store at the same price because I wasn't worried about making money on them, but I needed people to know about this album.
Wow. Okay. It's
So
the band's
like,
Hawaii. Sorry.
no, the album is called Hawaii. The band is, I really should know if it's Musical Miracle.
Musical Miracle. Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'll link it. I'll find it and I'll link it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and they just did a repress because when I found out about that one, it was already sold out, and I was like, oh, the album was like $200 online, and I was just like, I want it, but I'm gonna just wait. And then right when I was about to crumble, they did a repress, so so
Yay.
that's when I grabbed a couple extra copies for the store. I'll do that sometimes because again, it's like it's more about the music and sharing it with people than making money off of it if it's a rare album. So if I get a chance and I know there's not that many, I'll just buy them, and as long as I'm not losing money on it, it'll just be in the store for the same price.
I'll do that sometimes too. There's a few titles that I can't pass up a used copy if it's fair value. Like
Yeah.
there's Miles Davis tribute to Jack Johnson, Donny Hathaway live. If I find a used copy of either of those for under $20, it's definitely coming home because I'm going to give it away. It's like
Yeah.
like a prescription. Like you You need some Donny Hathaway in your life. Is there anything like that a used title that you have in the store all the time simply because you so strongly feel people should hear it?
Yes, it's Information Society.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the Information Society.
Okay, so you find copies of Information Society and
Yeah.
okay.
Duran Duran too is like a staple.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Everyone needs a copy of Rio.
Yeah.
Okay, you said there were a couple of records that were precious to you. Yeah.
Yes. Hank 3. Um, his albums are hard to find now, and I'm blanking on the main one. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I like to carry his stuff. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of it. Let me look it up real quick.
That's all right. He's a fascinating character.
He is. But that when I first, Straight to Hell. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
When I first went to see him live, I was actually going to see the opening band. I didn't even really connect that he was like the grandson. But when they came on stage, it was just like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? One of the first bands to really like, I cannot sit still. And I'm sorry, I'm probably annoying every person around me, but like, it was really in my soul. So yeah, I love that album. That one, I have not been able to carry that one, but I carry his other stuff, attention deficit disorder and stuff like that. So, and anytime anyone's like, "What is this?" You don't know about Hank 3, and I go through the whole thing, Hank, Senior, Junior 3, and then how he does doom, country, like yeah.
Is he still active?
He's not. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've tried like hell to get him on the show before and the dead end.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now I also read somewhere you're involved in the creation of records as well. Is that right?
It's limited. I get to pick like our variant for the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll get to do that and name it. And sometimes like we've designed the hype sticker. So involved like that, but that's about it.
Okay. So this is probably some of the Pucifer stuff. You're able to say, I want the blue splatter one, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Got it. And are there limited exclusives just for Queen Bee vinyl?
Yes, we have had. So when we were Pussifer the store in Jerome, we had a store up there for 16 years. And so we had a variant up there. And then when we moved to Cottonwood, we have one Pussifer variant and then Queen Bee variant. And then now we're getting the next one with the Normal Isn't release.
Okay. So only people who walk through your doors can buy that.
We'll put them on our website too.
Okay.
Yeah. QueenBeeVinylCafe.com. And then we did have a Sesanta variant.
Yeah. Now there's a lot of those live shows that are recorded. Now you guys will have variants of some of them are like 75 and 50 copies. So the store gets the unique versions of those as well?
Yes. When they do like the tours and they have the nightly variant for that specific show, if they don't sell out at the show, then we get those in store. But those only are in store. We don't sell those online.
Got it.
Yeah, we like to have some things that are special just for people that make the journey here.
That's important. Yeah. I read somewhere where there was at one point, and maybe you still do, pairing records with the wine.
Yes, we've done that. And now we also, because the coffee roaster will pair it with the coffee or any of our drinks. But yes.
Okay. I've heard Seth Rogen pairs with weed with his company. Now, how does one pair a record with a wine? What do you look for?
I will look for how the music, well, sometimes it'll be like how the music makes you feel. And so like, what kind of drink would you want to have with this? Is this like a cozy night with so you're having some red wine, or is it like maybe it's a like Malcriada hyper pop album. So maybe you want some bubbles because it's more fun and exciting. Like that.
Okay.
That's
And people can pair in your store, or you have it prepared?
Oh, they can pair in our store.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we encourage people to bring it is two different buildings, but we encourage people to bring their stuff from the cafe over
Okay.
and
All
hang
right.
out.
Do you get, I mean, you seem to be very busy. You do, what I read, falconing as well.
Yes.
You've got so much going on. I would imagine a falcon does take quite a bit of time during the day.
Yes. Her name's Autumn. She does take quite a bit of time. Right now is falconry season,
Hmm.
so she does take time, and I'll either dip out early so I can take her out flying, and then I end up like working late at night, just do all my computer stuff at night. And then, but in the summer and a little bit towards the fall when it's wine season, luckily it's her off season, so I don't have to do a lot with her. She's molting, and so I just maintain her, but I'm not actually having to like take her out and fly her.
Oh, okay. So there's a season where you don't have to fly the bird every day.
Yeah.
Sorry if I just say bird,
Well, that's
I don't mean to demean
no, it's
the
fine.
falcon. That sounds now all these hobbies that you have. Is there a common denominator there? Is there something about them, vinyl, falconry, wine and coffee, that is kind of the resonating point with you? The discipline, the tactile. What is it about those hobbies that kind of make them uniquely yours?
I hadn't really thought about it before, but now that you mention it, yeah, it's probably like the tactile, immersive, because you're doing it, it's like all senses must be on that thing. Also, I guess it seem like I like to push myself to my limits.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like challenges.
Do you get much time to enjoy records outside the record store?
I do not, I would say not as much as I used to, or that I hope to, but I do stay up at night, especially when I get my distribution, like the sales sheets.
Hmm.
I will stay up all night because I'm like, I think I know music, and then I get these sales sheets, and I'm like, there's like 80% of stuff on here I've never heard of or don't know that well, and I have to go through every single one and listen, to a few songs because I can't just let it go. Like I might be missing something. So I do. It's usually late at night.
Okay, all right. I guess, and that's another thing about pushing yourself, always learning.
Yeah, and I do. So I also race crappy cars, and we do a lemons. It's called 24 Hours of Lemons, and I brought a record player on the rally so that we could listen in the car and at the hotels at night.
Ooh, what do you got? You like rebuilding Datsun B210s and stuff like that?
Subaru Brats. They're like,
Super.
yeah, they're my favorite. The last one I took a hearse, and then I've taken an old 65 truck, but the Subaru Brats are my favorite.
Now, you're driving, or do you actually get in and kind of rebuild and fix and that sort of thing?
No, I'm just driving. I have a crew to do the track racing cars. I have a crew for that because it's very specific, very a lot of safety regulations. And I really wish that I did know how to wrench on cars. And that's maybe my next hobby is some mechanics. But
Yeah, I think I would have been a really good mechanic if I started early enough, but
yeah.
I'm lost now when I lift the hood. Is it dangerous?
The rallies are not. The tracks are a bit more dangerous because it's actual real racing, like on real tracks. I've done like Button Willow Raceway and Thunder Hill. So they are actual tracks, but they do require roll cages and fire extinguishers and fire suits, and so there's as much precaution as you can take is they require that.
Okay. Where do you put the record player?
Oh, not so that's not for the track one. For the
Oh, okay.
rally, they're just like road races, and they're based on points, not on speed. And so those are, yeah, record players just inside bouncing around.
Okay. That's kind of like a wacky one. People wearing onesies and dressed as
Yes,
Pokemon characters and stuff.
yes. But yeah, I'm good at the themes and the fun part of it, and then I have people that work on the cars.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's only so much time that you
Yeah.
got in the day. You're also a board member of Women in Vinyl, which I think is outstanding effort. Jen DiEugenio was on the show before, and I really admire what she's done in her collection. What does a board member of Women in Vinyl do?
So I'm the head of partnerships, director of partnerships. We all work together, but I do specifically try to get, just partnerships and people to donate for fundraising and anything we could do to work together. Like we worked with VinylCon for some of their record shows so that we can be a part of that. But all the board members work together. We just launched an initiative yesterday for mentors and mentorees, or mentoree, yeah. So board members can mentor in their different fields of expertise, and anyone can apply to be a mentoree. Yeah, and then just sounds like an odd word.
Mentee. I think it's a mentee.
Mentee, that's it. And then we raise money for scholarships for to go to like lathe cutting camp or music classes or learn about music business. So yeah, just things like that.
Lathe cutting camp. That sounds killer.
Yeah.
How does the group identify young ladies who are interested in kind of pursuing that? How do you find those people that are, you think are interested but need just a little bit of support to get them over that decision?
Well, we put out advertisements and social media and on our website for applications. And then you actually have to write an essay and apply showing why you should get to go.
Okay.
So I think that kind of helps find people that are actually going to go
Yeah.
and learn from it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Going back to the creation of like some of the Pucifer stuff, where does one get that pressed?
We are right now using Onyx.
Oh, in LA.
Yeah. We're using them. We've used, it was called New Press, but I think Licorice Pizza just took over that one. So we were using them. We've used Groove House. Yeah, just different ones, depending on like the timeline. And
Do you see the vinyl sales increasing, staying the same? Do you think how is the market changing, I guess, in your view as a record store owner?
over the years, I have seen it increase. I would say this year is the only time I've seen where CDs and cassettes are kind of starting to creep a little bit in sales. And I think that has a lot to do with money, or the price, because vinyl is expensive. And, people are, especially we have a lot of young people that come in. And so they realize like, oh, I can get 2 CDs for the same price as 1 LP, even though there's not as much tactile and art. That, and then I think the novelty of cassettes has started piquing interest of some of the younger population.
That's really interesting. Cassettes and CDs. I guess to me, cassettes and CDs. I grew up in the era where vinyl was beloved, and cassettes and CDs were convenient. And now I guess the next generation, the people born 5 and 10 years after me, are kind of in this other mindset when it comes to those. Does that generational change have impact on what's selling in the stores?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you get a lot of older people because they remember vinyl. And now they're like, oh my gosh, it's back. And then, now, like I said, the younger people are kind of either getting into records, which I love when they come in, they're like, I want one of those record machines. And it's like, you mean a record player? And then you show them how to use it, and I mean, I've had to show people how to like the cassettes. Someone wanted to just cram one in a player, and I'm like, no, you'll have to like open it, take it out. We sell pencils because you have to wind it at some point. So it's really fun to get to explain that to people.
Mm-hmm. Is the high end of record collecting, is that still being maintained? Like where do you see the variance of the record collectability market?
Um, I'm sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
So I guess in a record store you'd have the high end, the collectibles, the stuff on the wall sometimes, and then maybe the used stuff in the bins and the new stuff. I guess those can be very separate markets.
Oh, yes.
So is the high end stuff, is that still going really well, or are people kind of pulling back from it? Like I said, I'm interested in kind of the market movements and kind of how people, especially with the economy the way it is, how people are reacting where records are like more disposable income.
Right. I feel like the people that buy the high-end collector stuff, like that doesn't it if they that's what they do, and that they have their built-in, like they have their budget set aside for that's my thing, that's my vice, and I will not have coffee or wine before I will not have records. So I don't think it's dropped a lot. We don't really carry a ton of high-end stuff, just because we don't have that kind of market. But we did just start a Discogs shop,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have been putting it on there, and it's doing well. And then we are doing the RSD market soon.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work with our POS, so we're just kind of like taking a minute to see if they start being compatible, but that's in the plans as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a better market for us. Those are better to do online than in store.
Right. Okay.
But I have not seen a huge drop.
What's some of the more high end stuff you had in the store in recent years?
We had like the Beatles box set, some Zappa, and then so I got that 80s metal collection, and so we had original pressings of Guns N' Roses and Black Sabbath, and
Ooh.
yeah, so all of that stuff.
And I suppose you see a lot of influx of record sales when an artist passes. Like recently, Ozzy. The shops have all been saying we can't keep Black Sabbath in stock. Same with Queen Bee.
Yes, definitely.
Let's take some questions from the community. Let me see. Ben Hunt asked Jen what her criteria is for what makes it onto the shelves at the Pussifer store, e.g., humorous, titillating, shock value, inspires abstract thought, all of the above. What does she look for that feels like a Pussifer thing?
Oh, I would say all of the above. Those are great descriptors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's something you found that, like, give us an example of what that would be, something that probably wouldn't be in most stores, but something that you feel is uniquely Pussifer.
Oh, let's see. Well, I just recently brought in a bunch of stuff. I love Consoling Sounds. They're a label out of Belgium. And
Mm-hmm.
so I brought in like Kiss the Anus of a Black Cat, 30,000 Monkeys. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. We always have Gigi Allen because that's a shock value.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what else? We also have right now, some North American tree frogs, and it really is all just various tree frogs. We bring in a lot of occult stuff like LaVey and Barbara the Grey Witch. I actually found this place called Professor Pickles. I'm not sure if I don't quite understand if it's a label or a band. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's a band, but maybe it's a label. But they did a really cool five LP set, and it took you through like this relationship. So it's various artists, but the way it's set up is like the meeting, the honeymoon period, the breakup, like the get back together. And so I really loved the way they packaged it. It was all like the conversation hearts from Valentine's Day. And you
Okay.
would get like a little 45 adapter that was in the shape of a heart. And so I just look for like really interesting packaging like that or concepts. Yeah, name funny names. And we have one that's like a medical recording, just like during surgery. So yeah, just interesting.
Have you heard of the label Lost Profits?
Oh yeah, so that's Professor Pickles. Like they're somehow connected.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of the Professor Pickles. I've got the Exorcist one, and I think
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that's where Barbara the Grey Witch came from.
Ah, that's right. Okay, all right. They had one. I think it was an Exorcist. It was a package that came with a bag of nails.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
Question two, Daryl Durham. Who is the greatest band in the world, and why is it Melvin's?
That's funny.
You must have a Melvin section there, I would imagine.
Yes.
Have
Definitely.
Melvins ever played Queen Bee?
They haven't. They always play a place in Flagstaff. And so I thought about reaching out and just being like, hey, do you want to mix it up just one time and play here instead? But I haven't done it yet because, a part of me is conflicting, like, don't poach this band from this other venue. But that's not how I'm not trying to do that
Right.
specifically. I'm just like, you should play our place. So I haven't done it yet, but maybe
How many people does your place hold?
100.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what are some of the bands that have played there that we'd know?
We've had Max and Igor Cavalera brought their Cavalera Conspiracy. So that's been a really big one. Nightclub, Gianni from Australia, Snapped Ankles, Hunts from LA, Vow, they came. Yeah, that was a big one for us. Yeah.
That sounds similar. Are you familiar with the Permanent Roadhouse in Los Angeles?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't been there.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet. It's on my list, and last time I was there, I ran out of time. But
Okay. Yeah. Record store, live area, bar. It's kind of all the basic food groups.
yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like similar to what you got there. Matt Karmazin, when falconing, how long and far does the falcon need to go out and do what it needs to do before you want to bring it back in?
She just really needs to fly, like minimum is 3 days a week. It's better if you can do five, at least five, but with my schedule, 4 or 5, I'm good at 4 or 5. So I try not to keep her in her house more than 2 days in a row, unless the weather is just terrible. But I'll still work with her inside the house on a leash. But I just take her out it depends what's happening. If we're not seeing any game and it's really hot out, we might only stay out 30, 45 minutes. If she's having a good time and the weather's nice, we might stay out a couple hours. So I kind of leave it up to her.
How do
and
you
the
get the
weather.
falcon to come back to you when it's done?
It's very much based on weight. You have to find like the perfect weight so that they understand that they're not starving, they're still healthy, but they're willing to work because they are especially mine's actually a Harris hawk. If they're not hungry enough, they're not going to do anything. So you want them to be just hungry enough that they understand if I cooperate with this human, I eat better.
That
She
sounds
doesn't
an
really,
awful lot like raising children.
yeah. She doesn't actually love or care about me. It's really about food. And she knows I will give her warmth and food if she cooperates.
You have a purpose to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, she is out there hunting her own food. So, but then, yeah, there's a whole thing of like when she catches it, you can't let her eat too much in the field or you won't get her back that day.
Oh, okay. All right. So you let her go, you let her find something, and then she's kind of away for 20 minutes. I would imagine the falcon would be able to go quite far. Are you just kind of just sitting waiting for her?
Oh no, you have to follow. So
Okay.
you're walking and kind of like trying to scare bunnies out of the bushes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's trained for bunnies. So and then and you know, she's a hawk. It's a falconry license, which is for all raptors, but she's a hawk, so they don't go as far as like falcons.
Right.
Falcons usually go more for birds, so they go higher and they go farther. So like for falcons, it's better to use GPS, whereas with a hawk, I can use telemetry, which is only goes about a mile before you lose them. And
Okay.
I have lost, I mean, not totally lost, but I definitely had to chase a hawk before for a long time because he decided to just go.
Yeah. But I have no knowledge of that whole environment, but it's fascinating to me. And yeah. Anyway, maybe not in this life. Maybe the next one I'll get it. I'll have time to get into it. Bradley Lowe, any music that you and Maynard disagree on?
Oh, probably most of my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff of mine he really does not quite understand, I don't think. Um, we do have I can't think of anything that's like specific that he's just like, no, I don't want to never put that on.
I've got a few rules in my house. No free jazz. Yeah, it just didn't go down well with the wife. No King Crimson before 9 a.m. That was another rule. But what music do you guys enjoy together? What is is there a type of music that where you guys are, or moments throughout the week where you just sit down and enjoy a record and wine?
It's usually mostly mornings if we're gonna not the wine part, but if we're gonna listen to records together. It's usually in the mornings when we're, getting getting ready to get out of the house because even though we do work together, we really don't see each other much because we do have so many different businesses here. We're at separate businesses or my schedules, I pick up our kid from school and things like that. So mine's his is out of state a lot, and then mine's running around the state a lot.
Okay.
So if we do listen to, I mean, it's all over the place. We just kind of usually if I put something on and then he comes in the room, or he's been out working and comes in, I'll be like, oh, I'll turn that off just to see if he's like, yeah, turn it off, or um, if he's like okay with it. But for the most part, it's just like whoever's there puts it on, and you learn about it.
Hmm. Is he as vinyl obsessed as you?
Yeah, he has a very good collection too. And we share everything, but our vinyl collections are separate. Like
Okay.
over here, and yours is over here. Everything else we share.
Yours dwarfs his, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that a lot of that's just because I'm at the store more. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, we're getting, I need every time a shipment comes in, I grab some stuff. If I ask him, like, hey, this came in, do you want it? Then it's always yes. But he's not right there to look through it all the time.
Got it. Okay. Do you know if he's got any old Anima test pressings or anything interesting
He
like that?
does. We
He does.
have we have one original pressing that's still sealed, and a half of one. And then it's not the original test pressing, but we do have a ornament test pressing from the remaster that still hasn't been released.
Yes.
And believe me, it is just as frustrating for us as everyone else that wants that vinyl.
So what's the holdup?
I will just say it's not Maynard.
Right.
That's
But
all I
you,
can say.
but you have the test pressing, so you get to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I mean, it falls on deaf ears, but every chance I get, I do mention like, hey, the tool should repress that stuff. But,
Okay.
they're a complicated band.
Okay. Fair enough. I know it's in the queue. We've heard it's in the queue. It's not if, it's when. all of us are kind of thinking like, well, hopefully I'm still around when that finally happens.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes I've gone to record stores and I've seen like a 10,000 Days LP, which is of course bootleg. And I'm like, where did you get that? And then I want to buy it, but I'm not going to pay $100 for it. But I do want it so I can have it in my store.
Yeah. Is it frustrating seeing those bootleggers make the money when?
Well, I mean, it is because it's like, guys, just get your shit together and you could be making that money. But it's not even that. It's just that people want this in their collection. So like just do that. And then the fringe benefit is you're making money off of it too.
Mm-hmm.
But like share it. I don't know if you think you're keeping it safe and pristine by not putting it out there, but it's really the opposite to me. Is like you're losing the opportunity to actually share it, you know?
Yeah. And you're enriching the counterfeiters and the public is getting fooled.
Yeah. And like they're probably not the greatest quality. So if you're concerned about pristine quality and art, then the bootleggers aren't the ones that are worried about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, your stuff's getting out there not in a way that you want it.
Okay. So you got test pressings of all of them, not just Anima.
No, I don't. Unless they're somewhere that I'm not aware of.
Fair enough. Enough needling you on that. I know that's a sensitive topic. All right, Jen, I'm getting ready to wrap up. Is there anything you want to talk about we haven't talked about?
I think I failed to mention that another thing that rural record stores, it's important for them to be like a community space. And so that's why we do have it so diverse, where it's like a neighborhood cafe, but a venue of all ages to hang out. And, it just enriches the community also, not just the music, but the place in general. Because you don't have to come and spend money just to be there. Like we just want you to have a safe space and a fun space to be at. So
that's beautiful. Some of my favorite record shops in the world are in small towns. There's one in Newcastle, Australia, Hiss and Crackle, and it is a live space. It's very nice people. Record store people are my people, right? Mm-hmm. That's my community, wherever it is in the world. And there's always good coffee, good burritos, good food around there. It's, people just have good taste, it seems, So yeah, I'd love to be able to darken the doors of the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe someday.
Please let me know whenever you want to come out. We'll set you up on a tour for the winery and everything, the works.
Ooh, excellent. All right. Yeah, I'll need a designated driver, it sounds like. All right, Jen. Well, thank you so much. And again, happy Record Store Day week. Sounds like a big party over there, and I'll make sure. And please share pictures. Everyone who ends up there at Queen Bee and beyond, just give us a tag, and we love to see what everyone's up to on Record Store Day.
All right, thank you, Nate.
Okay, see you, Jen. Cheers. I really enjoyed that conversation. I hope you did too. I got to get out there. I got to make some time and effort to get to Cottonwood. I've always wanted to check out the winery out there. And now there's coffee roasters, vinyl cafe. I'm sure the food is exquisite, even though it's 10,000 miles from my home. I got to make it happen. So that is definitely in the plans for 2026. If you're anywhere near Cottonwood, Jerome, nearby Arizona, make sure you stop by the Queen Bee Vinyl Cafe. Say hi to the crew there. Grab some records that you may not know. It's always fun to experiment, and sounds like the titles there are very curated, so I'm sure anything you pick up is pretty interesting. So thanks again, Jen. Hopefully we'll see you in Arizona sometime soon. And that's it for this episode of The Vinyl Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone who are leaving these positive reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, sharing on social media. That is always hugely appreciated. And those of you who are sponsoring us on our Patreon page, patreon.com/vinyl guide, well, that's fantastic too. You buy me a beer and a burrito each month. That keeps this show going. Much appreciated. We'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, you all behave yourselves. And thanks again for listening to the Vinyl Guide podcast. Cheers.